welcome to Bet On It here on Wager Talk TV. I'm Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas on Twitter, ready to break down NFL Week 3, the moment you guys have all been waiting for. Our guys, Marco D'Angelo, Joe Raineri. Let's see if we can have ourselves a better Sunday than I did last week. Yes, I got the winner with the Seahawks as the best bet, but the Bears killed about 4 teasers. The Jags kicked a bunch of field goals. And the Broncos blew a 21-3 lead. What are you going to do? Okay, it's the NFL. This is why I prioritize college football. So if you want to watch the college football show, we just finished it. It is also on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. And if you are new here to Wager Talk, one time and one time only, you get a $39 one-day pass from the handicapper of your choice for just $5. The only handicapper on this show that sells his picks on Wager Talk, Marco D'Angelo, WT.buzz/MD. Marco D'Angelo, we're going to kick it right off here with some primetime games. Thursday night, New York Giants, 10-point underdog at San Francisco, total 45, no Saquon Barkley. We know the Giants stayed on the West Coast after that miracle come-behind win for Survivor backers, but no cover, unfortunately, for your best bet. Talk to me about this Thursday night game.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out who the Giants pissed off in the scheduling department. You started the season off with a Sunday night football game against the Dallas Cowboys. Then, okay, hey, we're going to give you Arizona. That's a gimme. Did you see the score at halftime? They were down, had to rally to get that. And, hey, stay out there on the West Coast. We're going to have you play probably everybody's NFC Super Bowl favorite, the San Francisco 49ers, and we're going to ask you to do it on 4 days. We're going to make you play on Thursday. But you know what, guys? It doesn't stop there. They get to go home next week. They get Seattle, but then they're right back out on the road, back-to-back weeks against the Miami and Buffalo. Yeah, thanks a lot, scheduling department. 4 out of 5 on the road. Well, let's look at this one. And, guys, I'm looking at this 49er defense, and they are for real. And I just don't see, without Barkley, how Daniel Jones is going to be able to move this football team. He's going to be running for his life on Thursday night. And because it is a Thursday game, I don't see the 49ers running this up. Do I want to lay the points when I think they're going to take their foot off the gas in the second half? No. Do I want to take the Giants plus the points where Daniel Jones is going to have to win the game? No, I don't want to do that. So what are we going to do? We're going to go to the total, and we're going to take under. If you watched our college football show, Joe had a great breakdown of what was going to happen in a certain game. When a team got the lead, they're going to take their foot off the gas, run the football, and kill clock. And I think that's what will happen here. And the 49ers run the football as good as anybody. You got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. They're going to get an early lead. They'll take their foot off the gas, shorten the second half, get in, get out without injuries. I'm going under 45 in this one. You need 2 teams generally to hit it over, and I don't see the Giants contributing too much to the over in this one. Let's go under on Thursday night.
Overs hit at a crazy clip week 2, of course, until those Monday night primetime games where I had to take a nap early because that Panthers game about put me to sleep. That being said, Joe Raineri, Thursday night football. I'm going to be honest. Chris Thurston and I from The Hustle are talking about maybe using one of our Survivor picks with the Niners. Tell me there's no shot they lose.
Well, I listen, I think there's a good chance that they win, Cal, but here's the problem. And we're dealing with a 49ers team that has now started the season by blowing out or outscoring the 2 teams that they just played by more than 25 points, right? So they are great in that respect. The problem is history tells us that when teams start out the first 2 games of the season blowing teams out by more than 25 points combined here, 15, 28, and 2 against the number in that game 3. And it's a Thursday night game. And that's the thing that bothers me the most about this is you do realize that because they have been so good, the 49ers in the first 2 games, the number's already inflated. And now I dare you to find anybody back in the Giants. So 10, 10.5. The books have already juiced this number. It's already out of control. I still think it's going to go maybe even a little higher. We did see it hit 11 at one point and then start to come back, and 10 is where it's at now. I hate these sloppy, disgusting Thursday night, short week. I don't want it. Anything is possible, unfortunately, with this, including, I think, Cal, to Marco's point, is that I don't think the 49ers are going to want to do anything but get in, get the hell out, don't hurt anybody, win the game, and move on, which means the back door is going to be open in this game late, and it's going to be one of those, all right, let's get this touchdown and build off of something into the next week with the Giants. So they may be up 14 with 3 minutes to go, and then guess what? Prevent defense comes, they score a touchdown, and instead of winning by double digits, they win by 7. So I think the value, as crazy as it is all in the Giants here, getting the 10.5. It's not exactly a game I'm going to be excited to get behind, but it would be Giants or pass. Take the points or pass here for me in this one.
All right, Joe, I'm going to kick it right back to you. Sunday night primetime game, Pittsburgh at Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a 1.5-point favorite. Total 43. Vegas didn't look so good on Sunday at the Bills. Pittsburgh got it done for me on Monday night in the teasers because I was too big of a wuss to take the points because Marco D'Angelo said they would be a square dog. And they kind of were, but that was okay. I didn't have to sweat it. It was nice. Nice not having to stress. How about that?
Yeah. Oh, those are nice. I mean, when those come along, they don't come along often, but when they do, it's nice. All right, I'm going to make this real simple, then head it over to Marco. I have 2 words. Matt Canada, give me the under. All yours, Marco.
Okay, great.
That's all it is. That's all it is. How in the world can you look at anything that's the under?
You have 45 seconds of analysis, and then you just did that.
Not Canada, people. That's all I got to say. Marco, you tell me. Not 1, but 2 defensive touchdowns. Not 1, but 2. And this team is in trouble because they can't run the ball. I don't see how this thing gets anywhere near 43 or 43.5 right now.
There's no question that the Steeler offense has been atrocious through the first 2 weeks. But let's be honest here, okay? They did face 2 top 5 defenses in the NFL. They played the 49ers in week 1, and they played Cleveland. And, as much as I hate to admit it, Cleveland has a good defense. And as you said, we got 2 turnovers for touchdowns. Don't forget, they also had a big kick return that set up another score, gave them a short field. So, yeah, the offense has done nothing. But you know what? The last time I looked, the only where I saw the Raiders anywhere in a group of 5 defensively might have been the bottom 5, okay? The Raiders are not a good defensive team. We saw that last year. We talked about it. They did nothing to really address the problem heading into this season. You got 2 1-1 teams playing on Sunday Night Football. It's the home opener for the Raiders. Pittsburgh played their first 2 games at home, now travel on the road. Anybody that watched that game on Monday night, they're not going to want to bet the Steelers seeing that offensive performance. And although the Raiders stunk against Buffalo, it was to be expected. Everybody saw Buffalo on the first week against the Jets go up and down the field against that defense, but then kept turning it over in Jet territory, and that's why they lost the game. That didn't happen last week. I'm not sold on the Raiders. They cannot run the football. Did you see the stat line last week on Josh Jacobs? 9 carries for -2 yards. I can fall forward and gain a half a yard, okay? All right. Mm-hmm. How do you have 9 carries and only get -2 yards? Until they show they can run the football, Jimmy Garoppolo's not going to carry this team. That's what people forget that he had in San Francisco. He had a great defense behind him and a great running game to aid his passing game. When he's got to carry a team, it's not going to work. Now, he's not going to be in a shootout with the Steelers and their offensive woes, but I have a feeling the Steeler offense is going to be a little more potent this week. I am going to look to Pittsburgh in this one. I got Pittsburgh winning this one, but Kelly, with that number sitting where it's at and what the total is sitting at, you know where we go with this game. I'll have some Pittsburgh teasers because I just do not see the Raiders blowing out the Steelers in this one. And for everything that you want to say bad about Matt Canada, and I agree with everything you want to say, I'm not a fan. You still got Mike Tomlin as the head coach, and I'll take Tomlin over Josh McDaniels any day of the week. That one is a coaching edge. There's some that Tomlin I won't take, but this one I will. Let's go Steelers. I like them. Take them plus the points. Take them on a sprinkle. Definitely take them on a teaser Sunday night.
Saints, Steelers, teaser. I can't wait for that one. Monday night primetime game. I'm going to be there in person. There will be no Go Birds chance for me. Philadelphia down to 5. This is going to be a great trophy for me, Marco. We'll talk about that when we get to the best bet segment. Total 46 at Tampa Bay. Marco, am I going to hate myself come Tuesday morning or what?
It depends how much you drink Monday night, Kelly. That's going to decide if you hate yourself Tuesday morning or not. You know, going to a Monday night football game. Yeah, I'm going to take you're going to hate yourself Tuesday morning, regardless of the outcome of the game, because you're either going to want to drown your sorrows or you're going to be celebrating a win. Okay? Either way, it's not going to be good Tuesday. I'll be sure to text you in a group text when I go to bed, which will be, early Monday morning, because I'm always in a group text with Gianni and, Kelly, and these two are on the East Coast, and they text nonstop at 6 a.m. my time. I don't have to set my alarm clock with these two. Thank you, Kelly and Johnny. I hope you're watching.
You didn't live with your phone on vibrate and you learned the do not disturb feature? We wouldn't have issues.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's get to this game. Both teams are 2-0. Somebody's going to merge 3-0. That's just the way the math is. And every year, guys, you go back, there's always a surprise. There's one team that nobody saw coming out of the gate that starts out the season 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. Who in the world would ever have thunk Tampa Bay could be 3-0? You had the retirement of Tom Brady. You're replacing the GOAT with Baker Mayfield? No. I think they're actually going to win this game outright. I think Baker Mayfield, for all of his shortcomings, no pun intended there, on his size, but this is a quarterback that, remember, when he was at Cleveland, it was a train wreck there. He either had a different head coach or a different offensive coordinator every single year. Then he went to Carolina, and the Matt Rule experiment just didn't work. We've seen that happen with college coaches make the move to the NFL. It works for some, but for most, it doesn't. Now he's in a system where I think he's going to excel. We saw him have a couple great games when he signed on with the Rams late in the year last year, where he had a coach that actually understood something about offense. I like him. In the Eagles, sorry, Dan, if my mic goes silent, you'll know why. The Eagles are 2-0. They easily could have lost either one of those games that they played the last 2 weeks. They got the wins, and that's what good teams do. They find ways to win when they're not playing their best. But, guys, the Super Bowl loser jinx is for real. I think Tampa Bay not only covers this one on Monday night, I'm going to rip a page out of Kelly's playbook. It worked to perfection last Monday night with the dual Monday night games. Primetime home dogs, you got to push and you got to win. I'm going to go ahead and take Tampa plus the points. I'm calling for the upset, 24-23. So go ahead, Kelly. Give a little sprinkle with the Tampa Bay side.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I will give my analysis on this game at the end of the show. But Marco did such an excellent job. Joe Raineri, Monday night football. Me and my girlfriend, Caitlin, she is a big Birds fan, are going to the game. Is she going to hate me come the end of the fourth quarter?
Well, she's definitely, I think she's going to absolutely hate you, but it's also going to be a lot like watching paint dry, because that's what we get on Monday night. And came across an unbelievable stat you guys are not going to believe here when it comes to road favorites on Monday Night Football. It is an amazing 1 in 15 to the under, so only one over, 15 unders when we get road favorites on Monday Night Football. It's an amazing trend, and I think it makes sense here to a certain degree. I mean, listen, anybody that's watched Philadelphia these last couple of games, do not tell me this is the same Philadelphia team. It's the one thing that I was worried about with Philadelphia, which is why I faded their season win total under 11.5. Sorry, Dan. But the idea that, your OC is now the head coach of Indy, your DC is now, of course, across the country, head coach in Arizona. You've got some turnover going on right now. It's not the same offense. Hurts doesn't look like the same quarterback. They're not running the ball nearly as well. The passing game downfield, not really there. They're opting to run more than anything else right now. And let's not forget this, Todd Bowles, maybe a little underestimated, this defense and Tampa Bay in general this year. All in all, it is Baker Mayfield. Ultimately, at the end of the day, he'll figure out a way to keep this game close, if not blow it late. But there's nothing I've seen from the Eagles offensively that leads me to believe they're a well-oiled machine that somehow they're going to go into Tampa and run roughshod over a damn good Tampa Bay defense. The under is clear as day here for me, Cal. I think this is going to be a rock fight. I think the team ultimately who can run the ball the best will be the winner. But I do think you've got a live dog and you've got a live under on a Monday night game here, under 46 for me.
Yeah, I didn't plan on ruining her Monday night when she texted me weeks ago, hey, I'm coming down to Tampa. Can we go to the game? Go Birds. I said, all right, no problem. Like Marco said, who thought Tampa Bay was going to start out 3-0? I sure thought the Bears had a shot last week, but we're moving right along. You know what these glasses mean. It means it's only time for one man, Ralph Michaels, at Cal Sports LV, the stat daddy. I had to get it the right way. I finally got it, and I've been told not to use it because when it runs out of ink, I just throw them away, and then I don't have a prop for the show. So, charts. That's why I've got these glasses on. You can always get Ralph's nerd charts and PDFs on his homepage, wt.buzz/RM. So you guys do not miss out on any of the actionable information that is the Trends and Angles segment. Ralph Michaels, how was your weekend?
It's one of those bittersweet weekends. Well, I've gone 6-4 since Saturday and went 3-1 in the NFL. I talked about last week, a rare week, having a 5% winner in the NFL and a 5% play in college football. I actually went 0-2 on those big plays. So disappointing as that goes, but looking back since the start of the 2022 football season, I am number 2 in profit at Wager Talk in college football and NFL combined. So we are not here to blow smoke up your butt. We are here to tell you that betting football is a grind. There's good runs and bad runs. Thank you for everyone that's on board. We're still going to show a profit, but an unfortunate week for me, Kelly, with those 2 big plays going down.
Yeah, and I did the opposite, Ralph. I hit my best bet and then went 0-2 in my other plays, and the Bears killed my teaser. So sometimes it's fun to hit those best bets, but not when the other ones go 0-3. All right, give me that nerd chart. What are we talking about for NFL Week 3?
Well, Kelly, again, we want to give actionable information, but we also want people to understand situations in the NFL. So you'll see some numbers that are here about 50%. So why do I post it? Well, because I get these questions asked a lot, and I want people to be aware. You see, this chart is simply this. NFL game number 3. The top chart in green are what 2-0 teams have done. The middle chart in brown, what 0-2 teams have done. The bottom chart are what 1-1 teams do. So take a look at the top chart. 2-0 teams, you see against the spread since 2015 when they moved the extra point line back, have gone 49.2%. 2-0 teams against an 0-2 team have gone 47.8%. Not much of a sample size. So a 2-0 team, don't worry about it. You're not going to change anything. But take a look at the 0-2 teams, Kelly. On the left-hand side, you see 2-0 teams since 2015. If you blindly bet every 0-2 team, you have gone 60.9% against the spread. That's Denver, New England, Houston, Carolina, Chicago, Arizona, Cincinnati, Chargers, and Minnesota playing each other, so ignore that. Take a look to the right-hand chart. If you are playing a team with 0 wins against an opponent with at least 1 win, Since 2015, you have gone 64.2%. The same teams apply. Denver, New England, Houston, Carolina, Chicago, Arizona, and Cincinnati. So something to keep an eye on. Those 0-2 teams are absolutely desperate. And week 3 in the NFL, 64.2% since 2015 is a pretty good sample size. And on the bottom, you see 1-1 teams. The left-hand part of the chart is a team with one win that's off a win. So they lost week 1, they won week 2. You see those teams are 51.7% game 3. But on the right-hand side, if you won week 1 and lost week 2, in game 3, you are only 37.9%. Cleveland, Detroit, Green Bay, the Jets, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, and the Rams are in that fade situation. Interesting note as well, you see the ATS record of 37.9 on those 1-1 teams on the right-hand side. Those 1-1 teams that lost last week, 62.1% to the over. So that's something else to keep your eye on.
And I still don't think that I could back my Denver Broncos this week. Disgusting play, man. That was one of my losers. 21-3, 21-2-3 headed into half. And that was all she wrote for that Denver Broncos team. Ralph, you got a few systems for us for this week? Let's hear them.
3 systems, Kelly. NFL number 1. This one surprised me as well. Since 2005, in game number 3, if an NFL team started on the road week 1 and played on the road week 2, San Francisco, Green Bay, Miami, and Las Vegas each started the season on the road for each of the first 2 weeks. In week number 3, they are only 32.7% against the spread. So I thought, hey, if you start on the road the next 2 and your home opener's game 3 would be a positive. It has not been since 2005. Again, that is a situation to fade San Fran, Green Bay, Miami, and Las Vegas. System number 2, Kelly. This is one I really like. And not only is it a 38.2% ATS situation since 2012, it makes total sense. If you trailed at halftime by 9 or more and you won the game, like the New York Giants did, you exerted a lot of effort in the second half. Those teams, again, like the New York Giants that trailed by 9 or more at halftime and won the game in their previous game, 38.2%, that says to fade the New York Giants. And the third and final NFL system, and I'll have another bonus NFL system on the PDF chart as well. You lost as a dog your last game. Now you're a favorite, and you also have revenge. Now, revenge means you lost this opponent the last time you played. It doesn't have to mean you lost the same season or the last season. I did exclude the COVID year because there was a lot of funky results that year. But if you are off a loss as a dog, and now you are a favorite with revenge, you might think it's a positive. Absolutely not. Those teams have gone 40 ATS wins and 81 ATS losses since 2017. That is a 33.1% ATS record. It says to fade Green Bay and fade Las Vegas. So I'll tell you what, Kelly, Green Bay and Las Vegas are one of those 1-1 teams in a 38% situation, are both in a fade situation of 33% playing both road games, and they're in a fade situation of 33%, losing as a dog and being a favorite with revenge. Very rare we see 2 teams fit 3 different negative situations. So let's see. I will clearly not be playing on Green Bay or Las Vegas this week.
But does that mean that you would play on Atlanta? Atlanta was on my long list. While I didn't get to the window with them, I thought they maybe could fit a teaser type situation.
Kelly, great question. And listen, for all new viewers, or if you're an old-time viewer, these trends or angles should never get you to play on a team. It should make your play stronger make your play weaker or perhaps take you off a side? So, Kelly, the answer is no. I did not have either of those opponents circled to play. So despite being 3 negatives, that's not going to get me to play on the team. But clearly, I'll be checking off those teams I don't want to play.
Sorry, my brain is broken on this beautiful Wednesday morning. I meant the Saints. The Falcons are at the Lions, NFC South, NFC North. I need to have another coffee on that note. Before we do that, though, we got to do some prop shop. Andy Lang, let's see who he's got for this week. Thank you again to Ralph Michaels at Cal Sports LV, always the best. Fresh off a 3-0 week, Andy Lang, I love to see it. Thursday night football, Giants at Niners, and I hate to say it, but we all know I'm a little risk adverse when it comes to juice. So when I saw this one, it kind of hurt. But you have a real logical, reasonable, and mathematical answer as to why I should be laying minus 190 on a prop bet.
Well, Kelly, so when is a minus 190 bet a good bet? When it's hit 11 games in a row. And as Joe Raineri says, if it ain't broke. I mean, this Christian McCaffrey will score a touchdown it's a gift at minus 190. I mean, these props that come in under minus 200, they can still be incredible value. So, Kelly, if we take away the first game that he played with San Francisco where he kind of had limited snaps, he's played in 15 games. He scored 15 touchdowns. He's averaging 1 touchdown per game. The Giants have already given up 5 touchdown runs. They allowed one to Turpin on the Cowboys. This is not a good rush defense. They are allowing 4.6 yards a carry, and we're just going to play this every week. As long as this prop comes in below minus 200, Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown, we're going to play it every week. We talked about this last week. It hit again. If it's minus 190 and it hits every week, who cares what the price is?
All right, Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown on Thursday night football. At the culmination, we're going to talk Monday night football, so we're going to get through the whole weekend, but you have a best bet for us on Sunday.
Yeah, let's talk Nico Collins and that vaunted Houston Texans pass attack. We hit a really nice Texans prop last week. We had CJ Stroud over about 215.5 passing. He only threw for 384. And Nico Collins is the man down there in this passing attack. So, Kelly, Justin Jefferson leads the league with 8 catches of 20-plus yards. Nico Collins is second. He has 6. He has more than Tyreek Hill. He has more than Jalen Waddle. This is one of these stats that surprises everybody, and he's getting a nice matchup here. The Jags, they allowed a 54-yard catch to Sky Moore, a 34-yard catch to Justin Watson, a 39-yard catch to Michael Pittman, a 22-yard catch to Josh Downs. Play this if it's below 24.5. I'm waiting to see what this number comes out. If it's below 24.5, we're firing away on it. Nico Collins is the number 1 target for Stroud. He gets open deep. He can break tackles. This is a great, sneaky, under-the-radar play, and it's much more reasonable juice for you.
I love that. And I also love that I just gave out the Texans plus 9.5 on Wager Talk today before we started filming. So those two things coincide. Now, I do have a best bet at the end of the show we'll get to. And every week I ask Andy to give me a prop bet for that game. Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Monday Night Football.
Yeah, so these Monday night props are not going to come out till Sunday or Monday morning. So we're going to kind of estimate what this number is going to be. We're going to take Jalen Hurts over his passing yards. I think this is going to come out around 220.5. So they're playing the Buccaneers. You cannot run on the Buccaneers, but boy, can you pass on the Buccaneers. The Bucs' second best rush defense. They've only allowed 108 yards rushing through 2 games. They've given up the 9th most passing yards. Kirk Cousins and Justin Fields flew over their passing total props against Tampa. And we're getting a great number on Jalen Hurts here. Hurts, he only threw for 170 yards against New England. They got up 16-0. He did not need to throw. And he only threw for 193 against Minnesota. Again, he didn't need to throw. They rushed the ball 48 times for 259 yards. This is a fantastic matchup. We're seeing some of these teams like the Colts, the Buccaneers, the Titans, tough teams to run on, but you can pass. When you get these matchups, you're looking at quarterbacks over. I think this is a great spot for Jalen Hurts to have a big game with Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and others. So, Kelly, for your best bet game on Monday night, let's take Jalen Hurts over his passing.
He is Andy Lang at Bump Sports on Twitter, at Andy Lang Bets on Instagram. He's been doing a ton of work for us over on the Wager Talk Instagram page, so make sure you guys go over and check that out as well. Thank you to Andy, and let's have another 3-0 week. Kicking it off here up next, are you high? Maybe we got some dogs barking, and of course, it's about that time of the show where I'm starting to get a little hungry, Marco. You got a nice fat sandwich finally for NFL Week 3, or am I stuck with another trap game?
No, Kelly, we're bringing the sandwich, and you know the routine. You can't have sandwiches the first week or two of the season because you need something to happen last week and something that's going to happen next week. Well, that's what we got here. And we're going to take a look at Indianapolis as they travel to play the Baltimore Ravens. Now, you know, coming into the season, I was very high on the Ravens, and they're getting it done. They're 2-0 in the NFC North. Thank you very much. And they're coming off a big win last week. They went to Cincinnati, won on the road. They're 2-0 on the season. They got a leg up on Cincinnati, who was everybody's pick to win this division this year. And what do they have next week? Let me take a look. Oh, they have the Cleveland Browns, another division foe. If they win next week after already beating Cincinnati, they're going to have a huge commanding lead already in the AFC North, and that makes this a big old sandwich. Because who's coming to town? Indianapolis. How are you going to get excited for the Colts, who were one of the more entertaining stories of last year with the coaching situation, bringing Jeff Saturday in and everything? They're going to look right past the Colts. In Baltimore, well, we know that as good as they can be, sometimes they have a tendency to play to the level of their competition. And that's why generally sometimes you hold your breath laying points with them. Do I think they lose this game? No, but I think that they're going to get caught looking ahead and feeling a little fat and sassy after knocking off Cincinnati last week. I'm going to go ahead and take Indianapolis plus the points. We're getting over a touchdown here. I see this one coming down to the end. Field goal game. And, well, when it comes down to a field goal, yeah, Baltimore usually wins those battles because they got the best field goal kicker in the game. Let's go ahead, take Indianapolis plus the points as the sandwich game of the week.
Oh, boy. I was thinking about using the Ravens in a survivor pool, too, and that now sounds a little nauseating. Plus, tons of injuries. I could go over a couple of them here just for fun. Odell Beckham Jr. was not at practice Wednesday. A couple outside linebackers, Jadeveon Clowney. Offensive tackle Ronnie Staley was hurt. Center, his ankle's hurt. Linderbaum. Marlon Humphrey hurt his foot, and Marcus Williams is out with a pec problem. So keep an eye on those injuries. This is Wednesday afternoon. Come Friday, Saturday, maybe I might just have to play the Niners in a couple more. Gross. Marco is going to make me take the Colts in the first NFL sandwich game of the year. Joe Raineri, you were talking about growing pot during the commercial break that we don't even actually have anymore. So how high are you?
Yes. Well, I'm getting there, but I got to tell you, if I would have ate that friggin' sandwich on that graphic. God damn, Marco, did you see the size of that thing they had on there? That was outstanding. Look at the size of that thing. What the hell is that? That is fantastic. The Pittsburgh special, a little corned beef on rye there. But no, honestly, if I was high, I'd be looking at the Kansas City game right now, which I am. So there you go. I just remembered. In fact, the total in this game was way too high to start, which is why we're now seeing 47.5, 49.5 when it first opened up, guys, and it has come down to 47.5, and I still think it is too high. And here's the reason why. And it's quite, actually, the numbers are pretty staggering when you dive into them. First of all, we know the Bears offensively are a little bit challenged. They rank dead last in just about every statistical category that matters. Now, they're not bad running the ball, but the problem is they have had absolutely no success doing just that and being able to get into people's red zones. In fact, they are one of the worst at actually driving down the field from the inside their own 30-yard line this year. They can't get past midfield. Unless the defense gets a turnover or somehow or another they're able to start at the 50-yard line or better, they are not a team that is going to drive and rack up points. And here's the other problem that we have here, and it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. The Chiefs held the Lions to what? 14 points? Chris Jones wasn't there. They then held, with Chris Jones, a Jags offense on the road to 9 points here. Now we've got the Bears that I don't believe have topped 20 points yet this season, and don't think they're going to in this game either. And the thing that clinched it for me, and this is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it, is how well we've got unders in Kansas City games when they hold their opponents under 20 points. And that, to me, is the key number here. If you think that they're going to be able to hold them to 20 or less, then this game is going under, because they have been 33 out of the last 36 opponents that haven't scored at least 20 points. Kansas City Chiefs games have gone under. I don't see them scoring 20 points here. There's no reason to think they are going to figure things out. And I do think the under, even at 47.5, it's come down, is way too high. I am taking the under. Well, really, anything involving the Bears offense. I am taking the under in this game against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think I've seen enough from the Bears, and very thankful that I had the foresight to take the under 7.5 wins with that team. Now, it's not cashing a ticket yet, but boy, do I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. Joe, I'm going to kick it right back to you because, it's time for some barking dogs. Wrigley just came into my office, so he knew he was right on cue, but he also learned if he's going to live at this house, you cannot bark during bet on it. So we need some other dogs that are barking, Joe. Who do you got winning outright this week in the NFL?
So, I mean, it's Mike Vrabel as an underdog, and it's been one of the more profitable bets to make over the last couple of years here with him at Tennessee. And listen, it worked out for him here last week. And I think, of course, when Ryan Tannehill's not shooting himself in the foot, we can see what he did last week. He is a very serviceable quarterback when he is asked to do the right things, and he doesn't try to do too much here. I think he was a little rusty in that first game. I think you saw much closer to what we're going to get from Ryan Tannehill this year. Obviously, Derrick Henry, the ability to run the ball, but more importantly, this Tennessee defense. They are grinders here, folks, and Vrabel is now going to have to game plan against a team on a short week that lost their best offensive player here in Nick Chubb, and yay, I got Kareem Hunt. Who cares? Kareem Hunt is not Nick Chubb, which is why he wasn't on the team to begin with. So now you've got less weapons there running the football. You've got Deshaun Watson, who has got to be talking to himself here right now, trying to figure out where can I get him? Where did it all go wrong is what he is trying to figure out at this point, because it has gone wrong, because he cost him the game, single-handedly cost him the game against the Steelers. He can't be trusted here. I think, once again, we are in a spot here where the total is low, and we've got a quarterback that is very iffy, not one that you can count on. We've got a new face there that is supposed to somehow or another replace the best player they had. I don't see it coming. I think this is a rock fight, but ultimately I trust Vrabel and Tennessee and Tannehill to be able to pull this one out like they have done a million times prior in an underdog role here. Give me Tennessee and Vrabel and company to get it done here, +3.
All right, Marco. Well, Joe didn't have a huge underdog here barking. It is the NFL. It's tough to call for double-digit outright winners, unlike college, but at least your dog is a little bit bigger, right?
Size doesn't matter, Kelly, okay? I got a smaller one today. We got +2. We're taking the Saints.
Oh, the sound bites.
Oh, I don't even know where to go after that. But
I'm trying to say it. I didn't say that. You know it.
I know. Comment. You tell me to get. Go to the YouTube. Tell me if size matters or not. We want to know, okay? But
doesn't make you a bad guy, Marco. Doesn't make you a bad guy.
Oh, we've got the Jordan Love era officially starting at Lambeau Field this week, and that's where I'm going with this one. He got the ability to start 2 games on the road, and I always say it's easier in baseball. I love when a pitcher's making his debut, major league debut, and it's on the road because it's easier. You're not expected to do well there. You expect to be booed, so forth. You're not have the pressure of this is the team that you're going to be playing the fans in front of for hopefully years to come. Now Jordan Love's got to take the field as the official starter of the Green Bay Packers. He's going to be facing a defense that's playing very well. Last 2 games, he got the benefit of facing the Bears and facing Atlanta, not defensive juggernauts. I was on Green Bay the first week against the Bears because it was just as much of a anti-Bears play as anything else, plus the fact that they own the Bears, and he played well. Last week against Atlanta, another team that's not a good defensive team, he only had 140 yards passing, 14 of 25. They only had 84 yards rushing. The 2 weeks, 92 yards rushing and 84 yards rushing. If they don't get a better balance with the ground game to help him in the passing game, it's going to be a long afternoon. The Saints play good defense. They held both of their first 2 opponents to 104 yards and 100 yards rushing, and they only allowed 181 and 139 passing. One of those teams was Tennessee, a good rushing team, and they held them in check. I like the Saints here. They're 2-0. Derek Carr, I thought, got a bum deal here in Vegas. Just not on the same page with Josh McDaniels. Kind of got railroaded out of town. He's playing with something to prove this year, a chip on his shoulder. Although he hasn't been lighting it up, he's not getting them beat either. I like the Saints to go in there. Small dog, but you know what? They cash the same. I'll go ahead, take the Saints, take them plus the points, take them on the money line. We're going New Orleans. I'm calling it 24-17. I don't expect a lot of points in this one, but we're going to go ahead and take the Saints as my barking dog.
Marco, they don't catch the same. Plus 290 is not the same as plus 120. I know you said size doesn't matter, but it does. It does matter over the long term of your bankroll. As I mentioned earlier, I think the Saints has an excellent teaser spot. You can also tease the Jets, possibly, as well as the Steelers with them. All right, I'm going to kick these guys off the show for a little bit. We've got Las Vegas Cris coming up. We've got some VR gold for you guys. And, of course, some best bets. While we still don't have a name for the segment, we welcome him in every single week. That is Las Vegas Cris, professional gambler. His resume speaks for itself, and he's here to drop some knowledge. Cris, what truth bomb are you bringing us this week?
Well, the last couple of weeks, we've discussed how we're all junkies and are going to do the parlays and the teasers, but let's try to lose less or try to use them efficiently. For me, parlays and teasers are part of my betting arsenal, but it takes a lot of experience to be able to use them as well as I can use them. But here's one thing that I strongly recommend, and that is to not marry a parlay or a teaser. And by marrying, I mean using them in events that start at the same time. Think about how many times you've had a teaser or a parlay and the games are going on simultaneously and you split out and you get no value on that second game that you would have won. So what I like to do, let's just look at this week for an example. If you're in the parlay views, for example, you're looking at this Cleveland Browns game. It's teetering 3.5. It's going to cost a bunch to get down to that 3. You don't want to buy it down to the 3. It's going to cost too much. So let's go ahead and let's throw in $1.70 front-legged parlay. And you're looking at one of the games you like later on in the day, and we're looking at, let's just say, Seattle. Seattle minus 265, you make that the back end. And once you pair those together, they pay, I think, plus 119. So you get plus 119 on your money. After that first game is over, you have options. You can take if you don't like Seattle anymore, you can actually buy back some of it with Carolina plus 6.5, but at least it gives you options. And if and you didn't waste a game. Let's say that Cleveland game goes down. No harm, no foul. You can still bet your Seattle. When you're looking at teasers, it's the same way. I'll give an example of a teaser I'm going to play. You guys can have it. Green Bay. I like that side of the teaser. I also like some other 1 o'clock teasers, but I don't want to pair the 1 o'clock games with each other. I want to spread them out. So one example is New Orleans paired with Pittsburgh. Now you can get both of those over 8 to the 8.5. But if you can only get the 8, make sure that you're betting your teasers someplace where a push doesn't make you lose on your teasers, because some of these sneaky places have started to take your money away on a push, and those are bad people, Kelly. You can't tease with those people.
I agree. Those are bad people. I'm gonna kick in here really quick, just because I have a question and I didn't get an answer on another show today. So I'm gonna ask you. I got a couple of shops that I can still bet minus 110 teasers. Now, I had one guy adjust the juice mid-Sunday last week to minus 120. Just from a mathematical standpoint, what is the most juice you should be laying on a 2-team 6-point teaser where ties push?
Realistically, you want to keep it at minus 120. They're going to basically squeeze you out of being able to use them, except in like extreme circumstances. The same goes with 3-team teasers. You can get, you should, like if you had a minus 110 teaser shop, they should be paying you plus 180 on a 3-team teaser. Let's go back to that teaser example that I gave you. Let's say we have those Saints plus 8. Let's say we have Pittsburgh plus 8.5. And let's just say you like the Rams and you have them plus 8.5. Now you're getting paid plus 160 at the $1.20 shops. And if you win those first 2 legs, now all of a sudden you're getting paid plus 160, and you can still make moves on the Monday night. You no longer like the game, you can buy back some money line and go for the middle. Otherwise, you have pretty good value sitting there. You can do the same thing with parlays, money line parlays. The parlay that I spoke of, the Cleveland-Seattle parlay that paid 119. If you added Philadelphia on Monday night, for example, that boosts that parlay up to plus 210. And if you don't like that, or you want to play the middle game, you could take Tampa Bay plus the points and go for a middle. Now, again, these aren't the types of things. These are the types of things where you're having fun. I want you guys to be thinking about how I can have fun, lose less, how I can maneuver better. Because pairing a team like Baltimore this week with New Orleans, that would just suck. Those are 2 great teasers. I like them both, but I want them paired with another team just in case one of them goes down. In this type of parlay betting that I'm talking about, we're not trying to win big money. We're trying to risk less and get better numbers. We don't want to lay 3.5 when we don't have to, and then we can lay 170 in a parlay.
I'm with you, Chris. So this week, teasers that I have: Saints to the Steelers, Ravens to the Steelers, Jets to the Rams, Steelers to the Rams, Ravens to the Rams, Saints to the Rams, right? There's a lot of really good options this week. So you suggested, and I just wanted to clarify for everybody at home, going into Sunday night, okay? I've already got 1 leg down, and we know that maybe the sharp money came in early on the Raiders. Would you recommend laying 1.5 with the Raiders, or laying minus 140 if you were looking to go for that said middle?
Well, yeah, you don't want to lay the minus 140. That would be too costly. You would definitely just lay the 1.5. If you're laying, but that line is up to 2.5, so you still wouldn't want to lay like 140. Again, these are just putting yourselves in positions of being able to do things. It's like, parlaying futures all the way through the playoffs. Something happens with an injury, an announcement, it allows you to pivot, and you're not locked in. You have some you're giving yourself some sort of value latitude so you can actually take some action. If you're trying to set parlays up to only hedge, or futures to only hedge, that's not the way to necessarily do it. But it's always good to have them staggered, to always have those options, and to not be killing any teams that you like.
Love to hear it. Chris, always bringing us knowledge here on Bet On It. Chris, do you have a best bet for us for this week?
Well, I like that teaser that I told you, the Saints and and Pittsburgh. I like Baltimore and Pittsburgh also. I don't think you can go wrong with those. So if you're thinking about teasing, as far as the money lines go this week, they're not really sticking out to me because I do a lot of money lines with teams that are 3 to 6 point range because you don't want to be teasing games that are like 6 point teams. You're not going to tease Seattle or teams where the money line is cheaper than the 280 value that you're using on a teaser leg. So you have to remember that also because instead of teasing, now maybe you want to convert that into either a straight bet or a parlay. So lots of moving parts to think about there with all the different prices fluctuating.
All right. Good luck to Cris this weekend. Always appreciate his insight. You guys asked for it. He's back with all of that actionable info. Wise guy picks, gold, whatever you want to call it. VR, my man, Gianni the Greek, at Greek_Gambler on Twitter. But first, you guys got to smash that like button per his request, not mine, of course. I would never ask you guys to do such a thing. No, all jokes aside, VR is the best. You guys asked for him to bring his gold, and he is going to bring it for NFL Week 3.
Yeah, please don't be shy. Go down there, smash that like, and make sure in the comment section, let me know what I can share, like what you're interested in, whether it's risk management, whether it's trends, whether it's handicapping, whatever it is, or my opinion on whatever. Just let me know. Make sure you go down there and don't forget, smash that like Kelly said. Now we got some NFL. We got 2 weeks in the books, a little more data than we had going into last week, so that helps. And more importantly, it helps us put a little less volume because we're able to go after quality instead of quantity as you collect more and more data. And with that said, here's what I'm going to share with you. I told you before, the 5 factors that I trade. Check the college football video for that segment, so you get that out of the way. Here's what I'm going to share with NFL. Passing success rate. It is probably one of the most predictive analytic metrics you can use. I'm going to give you the top 5 in the NFL on offense right now. Number 1, Miami. Offensive. The passing success rate. Number 2, Seattle. Number 3, where's my number 3? Oh, there they go. Detroit. Number 4, where's my list? Las Vegas. And number 5, Baltimore. That's offensive. Offensive passing success rate. This is going to change as the season progresses, and no surprise, followed by the San Francisco 49ers. If that kid doesn't make mistakes, boy, is that team loaded. Now let's jump right into some good. Nothing on Thursday night so far, so we got to dive right into Sunday. And here's what we got. The first game, Chargers, Minnesota. You've seen this flip-flop, and as I explained in the show, in the steam room, when I pulled up the betting lines, and I explained you're seeing betting syndicates getting plus money on both sides. It's very easy to do when the line's around that pick -1, +1 area. You could flip-flop the money line and end up with 2 bets of plus 101, 103, 105, 108 on both sides. That's just free money. And when you're betting tens and hundreds of thousands, those pennies on the dollar tend to add up, and it's for free. So be careful drawing conclusions when it flips the favorites back and forth like that. Next, move down to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's right, the Jacksonville Jaguars -7.5, -8, and even pushed up for teaser protection. And that's why you're looking at that 9.5 right now, because the people watching this video know it's unteasable. We only use 6-point teasers. We don't lay more than 120, and we tease through the key numbers of 7 and 3. And we look the tease down most especially, and that's what Jacksonville fell under, the tease down. Those are the most advantageous. Boom, they get eliminated quickly. I like the weight to put a lot of my teasers. We talked about that before. But with that said, sometimes you got to jump out ahead or it's just not going to be there for you. Drop down to the Atlanta Falcons. Here's why I'm giving you the Falcons, because the Falcons have been bet multiple ways, meaning they took them at -4. They took them at +4, +3.5, +3. Because of the line moving down to that key number, they were able to get it down to like even money. But that's when you started seeing some money line action come in. So you got Atlanta with the points, Atlanta on the money line, and Atlanta eating some first half action. So they really think the Detroit team, even though passing success rate could be a little fluky, because again, we're 2 weeks in and a lot is going to change. That's why talking about data, it's almost irrelevant this early on. Drop down to Sunday Night Football for a we got one more side after that, excuse me. We got the Raiders, money line, and more money line. So far, that's all they've been hitting. And again, now that it's at 2.5, based on what the money line is, you're probably better laying the 2.5. Especially I'm seeing at some places you're having now lay a lot for the money line. In fact, I would suggest now, if you're going to piggyback that, you're definitely better off laying the points, because that money line's up to like minus 140 in some spots. So it's a different bet at that price. Now, here's a couple totals for you as well. Start off at the top. Titans, Brown, under 41, under 40.5, under 40. Drop down to Falcons, Lions, under 47. So it's that bodes well for the underdog. Low scoring game, less points, favors the dog. And when the points are more valuable, you want to be getting them. That's just fact. Drop down to Bears, Chiefs, under 49.5, under 49, under 48.5, under 48. They're just pounding that Chiefs, Kansas City under till it went down to 47 at a lot of places. And those numbers, 49, 48 in NFL, again, they matter. And finally, Monday Night Football, all over in the Eagles. Bucks, did I give you the Bucks? Because the Bucks are the side on Monday night. Bucks +6. What was it? 6.5. Bucks +6. A little money line sprinkle. Don't worry about the 5. I think you're good. There'll probably be some Philly action. You may want to wait. I doubt there's going to be a lot more Tampa Bay love, especially from the betting public. I doubt you'll get too worse of a number, but Tampa Bay +6, +6.5 actually, and some money line action there. And again, the over in that. That's going to do it for Monday night for the NFL this week. It's been a long day. Thank you again for all your support. Please smash that like button. Let me know in the comment section how I can provide the most value for you guys. And we'll be back with week 3, where we have a little more data, a little less fluff.
I love it. That warms my heart. I have a nice CLV trophy on the Bucks already. So good information from the Greek, per usual. Again, guys, if you want to hear something from him, say it in the comments section. He is here for you by your request. All right, it's time for those best bets. And as I alluded to in the primetime segment, I'm going to be joining Marco D'Angelo and Joe Raineri on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I've already got my little trophy ready to go. And you know why? Because I bet this one on Sunday +6.5, and it's now 5, and it's only going one direction. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself a nice little CLV trophy that I'm going to get a cash in person. Bucks currently +5, but as they both mentioned, I think they are worth a sprinkle on the money line. 8-0 against the spread as regular season and Monday night home dogs in Tampa. And our producer Dan, those birds of his, 1-9 against the spread as divisional road chalk of 4 points or more, non-divisional road chalk of 4 points or more. Excuse me. So coupled with everything else that Marco and Joe said, I got no choice but to take the Bucks plus a point, and of course, little sprinkle on that money line. Hopefully, Philly gets an L here, so Joe and I can cash that under 11.5 wins that he and Ariel Epstein talked me into taking. Marco D'Angelo, who is your best bet for NFL Week 3?
All right, Kelly, jumping in for my best bet. Just want to remind all of the viewers, if you're brand new to us, check out that special we got going this week. You can have any handicapper of your choice, one time only. If this is your first purchase at Wager Talk, $5 for a one-day all-access pass. That's a $39 value for $5. Take advantage of it. For this one, well, we might have a little bit of a fight here on the show because I'm going against Joe and his barking dog. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns as my best bet, and here's why. Okay, they're coming off the Monday Night Football game. Is there anybody that watched that game that's going to want to bet the Cleveland Browns this week? Well, that's me. That's when I want them, when nobody wants them. Yeah, they looked ugly on Monday night. They kept shooting themselves in the foot. 4 turnovers in that game. But you know what? they were going against a lot of history. The Pittsburgh Steelers had beaten them 19 straight regular season games in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers had won 20 straight Monday Night Football games at home. That's a lot of history. Then you look in those turnovers that they had. Deshaun Watson, he was going against a good defense. We know what the Steeler defense is. That's not the case this week. Now, Tennessee's not horrible, but they're not the Steeler defense. I like the Browns to be able to move the football. They actually did move the football last week when they held on to it, or Deshaun Watson didn't throw it to somebody else as he did in that game. I don't see that happening this week. Plus, yeah, I know Nick Chubb is out. Guys, he's one of the greatest running backs in football. No question about that. But the reason running backs don't get paid the big money anymore is because all of the owners and coaches and everybody say this is a league where running backs are interchangeable. Well, we'll find out on Sunday. I'm going to go with the injured player theory. You've seen it so many times. We're getting a benefit of the line because there is an adjustment. We're also getting an adjustment because of how bad Deshaun Watson looked on Monday night. Give me the injured player theory. Give me Cleveland back at home in this game. I like them to win this one. And let's face it, Tennessee last week, they played the Charger defense. Cleveland, I think, is top 5 defense. It'll show this week. I've got Cleveland winning 27-17. Sorry, Joe. And hey, guys, let me know who you like. Jump into the comments. Tell me, are you Team Marco or Team Joe in this one? And give us your projected score.
Marco, does the Kareem Hunt visiting Cleveland, potentially signing with them, help your bet? Do you care? Does it matter?
Well, obviously, him coming in is not going to have the timing, but, the backup will step up. They still ran the football well last week, and the Steelers, as I said, are no slouch, defensively, and they had success running the football. I like them this week. It's more so going against Tennessee. Tennessee hasn't impressed me in the 2 weeks. I did get the money with them last week, but, man, we had to sweat that game last week.
All right, Joe, you and I didn't have to sweat last week at all. Just kidding. It was a sweat in Detroit for me. Joe, best bet for this week in the NFL.
I just want to remind everyone there, my dog is bigger than Marco's, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's go to, if we can, I am going to go to the nation's capital here, and I'm going to look at this Washington team now getting 6.5 points. And listen, I get it, right? So you go home, but you lose to the Jets in a horrific fashion. Then you go home and you beat up on a Raiders team that is less than, shall we say, excellent here. And now all of a sudden everything is right with the world again in Buffalo, right? That means that Josh Allen is, not going to turn the ball over anymore, is not going to put the ball up for grabs, right? When pressure comes around. I'm like, all of that was fixed in a game against the Raiders at home, in which they ran the ball 35 times for 183 yards and 2 touchdowns. Well, I don't know if you guys watched that game in Denver there with the Commanders. Hell of a comeback win from them, down 21-3. But this is not the same old Washington team here. Last year, they averaged around 18 points, 19 points a game. So far with Sam Howell, they've, and let's not forget, they got a new offensive coordinator there, if you guys don't remember there, in Bieniemy, and they're averaging almost 4 touchdowns a game now. He's done an amazing job, Sam Howell, with this team. The running backs, Robinson and company, have been great, but maybe the most impressive part of this Commanders team is that front seven, guys. Chase Young comes back last week. They dropped 35 points in a building that forever has been one of the hardest road places to win in forever there at Mile High, and they ended up getting it done. They got it done because the defense showed up when they needed to. So I am not a big believer here that all is right in the world with Josh Allen and this very one-dimensional Buffalo Bills offense. Don't like their offensive coordinator. I'm not sold on him. Trust Bieniemy, and I trust that front seven of the Commanders. That is a nasty group on defense. They will get theirs. And if you want to give me 6.5, I got no problem taking it because I believe the Commanders, and you better sprinkle a little something there as well, are a live dog in that game on Sunday.
Oh boy, Kami's live dog for Joe Raineri to end this show. All right, let's get that recap graphic up. Thursday, Sunday, and Monday plays. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show as much as we did doing it. Appreciate all the comments, all the love. You guys are the best and why we do the show. So from Joe, Marco, Ralph, Andy, Las Vegas, Cris, VR, and myself, good luck this weekend. Until next week, let's bet on it.